Bengals Postgame Live were presented by the divorce and estate planning law firm of Clark, Peshkin, Maddy, Glab, alongside of Steve Tasker. And the Bills get the much-needed dub against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Thursday Night Football. They continue to be undefeated on Thursday night games, 3-0 heading into this game in the primetime window on Thursday night. Now they're 4-0 in the primetime window on Thursday night in the Josh Allen era. Final score of 24-18 over the Buccaneers. They're now 5-3 on the season. And Steve, the Bucs had a chance at the end to win the game with a Hail Mary. It was not successful. And the Bills, in the beginning of the game, got going on offense. It's what we wanted to see. This offense got off to a hot start. They scored 17 points in the first half. The last 3 games, they were averaging 3.3 points per first half. It was great to see them get off to that hot start on offense, defense, special teams. All 3 phases in the first half looked great. Second half, it stalled out a little bit. What do you make of how the Bills got the dub tonight?
Well, you're right. They started out. They made some adjustments, which we thought they were going to be backed into a corner to do, and they did. They went 3 wides, and with Kincaid on the field, even took James Cook out of the backfield. They went empty and out of shotgun, spread the Bucs out so that they could get a good look at the pressure packages the Bucs were going to bring at them, and they had answers for those. Josh got rid of the ball on time. The offensive line, I thought, played an extremely good game, and because of the winning up front, and because they were able to, Josh completed 77% of his passes, and they threw the football a lot tonight, 40 times. That leads to victory. A lot of third down conversions, a lot of first downs. They moved the football, and they pulled the sails in the second half.
Josh Allen is now 21-5 following a loss in his career. It is the best in the Super Bowl era. We're going to get going with some of our player sound that we have. We'll hear from lots of guys tonight, including Sean McDermott as well. So let's see who kicks it off for us tonight.
What was that? Whatever it was, 92-yard drive they put on the 2 penalties on 4. Was that like one of the, is that 2 difficult drives you've been a part of?
Gassed. Yeah. Well, 22 plays, I think it was.
I think it was 17, but 2 penalties. So yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. I was tired. Man, I had to get some more conditioning in because that was a lot. Yeah.
Is it frustrating though to you made 2 4th down stops, and one of them was really a ticky-tack call. The face mask was legit, but is that kind of frustrating to have to deal with that?
It's absolutely frustrating. I'll say it. It's tough. You get off the field on 4th down, and then you look back at the penalty, and it's just like it seems like each and every week there's something, and honestly, like it's tough, man. But we came away with the win, and those situations you like to get off the field, 4th and 10, and quarterback I think is sacked, and they call Taryn for an incidental contact down the field. It is what it is. Happy to get away with a win, but that's just kind of ridiculous.
Mike, you're basically at the halfway point of the season right now. What are you taking into the weekend about where's this team headed?
Obviously just build off this win we just got. Get a little extra days going into what's next week, Sunday night, Cincinnati. Get a little extra days and just learn from each and every game. That's where we're at this point. It's take a game by game and go out there and just try to get a win. So it's good to get a little break, especially a little bit for the older guys, and kind of step away, get some family time, and reset your mind and get ready to get back out there.
Mike, how good was it just to go out there and get a win? Other than what just happened with that 4th down and stuff like that, you guys pretty much dominated the game defensively. Just care to talk about how the guys, won in the trenches up front for you guys and made it easy?
That's why we play this game, is get a win. Obviously with that sour taste in our mouth we had on a short week, it was good to go out there and get a big win. That's why you play the game. And, like I said, we can build off that.
For your week, you guys went, I think there were like 4 drives in a row where they only got 29 yards at most, but then the long drive at the end. So when it's kind of up and down like that, how do you balance looking at the defense, what y'all did this game?
You just continue to get better. There's stuff to learn throughout the entire game, whether it's a 3 and out or whether it's a 17-play drive. And we're 5-3 right now with a lot of games left to play. So we're gonna come in tomorrow, watch the tape, correct it, learn from it, and we're gonna enjoy this weekend, this time off that we have, and get refreshed and healthy, and be ready to roll coming off this week.
Mike, a lot of talk about the team's energy this week. Did you feel the team was more energized going into this game at all?
I felt like our energy was great. We were ready to go. Obviously, been in the locker room, guys were talking ball and getting excited to get out there. And same thing translated onto the field. Yeah, man, I just I'm proud of this team for obviously going through what we went through last week and then coming out here this week. That just shows a good ball club. Been able to flush what happened in the past, what happened last week, and continuing to push forward and continue to win.
What did it do for you guys as the defense had that Oliver back tonight?
Huge.
Yeah.
Ed is Ed, man. He's a disruptor, playmaker, and it was huge to get him back in the lineup.
You almost had 2 picks out there today. When did you kind of get a feel of what Tampa Bay was trying to do in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I expect myself to catch both of those. I felt like I was seeing the field well. We had a great game plan. Sean put together a great game plan. Got me playing some dime now, and it's just giving the quarterback an extra look, and I was just seeing the field well. Got to make some plays, make more plays on the ball, and got to have those.
You mentioned playing dime more. Just what did you make of how you were used tonight and how it was?
I think it's effective. It's good because we can all interchange. Like, it's not just me. There's me, T-Rap, Micah, obviously, and we can just interchange and give the quarterback different looks. And so, we played well today.
Micah, how big were a couple of those Sam Martin punts to pin their offense back?
Huge. We talk about field position all the time, and obviously taking the ball away and stuff like that would help the case for the offense, but special teams is usually the ones that are flipping the field and all that. So offense did a good job of getting a few first downs, getting around midfield, and then Sam just putting it down there. It was two of them, right? Two of them pretty remarkable. Almost had a third one. So Sam's been doing it for a long time. I think this is year 11, just like us. So experienced guy and a huge weapon for us.
Jordan, what's your approach on that last play? And did you get knocked down in the end zone on that one?
No, it was just a box out play. My job was to just run with Mike and try to box him out and let the jumpers jump. And I was just trying to get in the way of Mike from being able to go up and make a play on the ball.
Being a veteran group that you guys are, right? I know I was going to get y'all last one, right? Being a veteran group that you guys are. Long, time off, good time off for you guys. How do y'all decompress but focus for a Cincinnati team who beat you guys in the divisional playoffs?
Not even thinking about. I'm sure we'll watch that and see what we did good, see what we did bad. But we're just worried about watching this film, correcting it tomorrow, and hopefully get a couple of days off, spend with the family, and just happy to get the win today.
Thank you, guys.
All right, it's time for this week's Player Spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills, and we've got to give kudos to our rookie tight end Dalton Kincaid for what he did tonight. 5 catches, 65 receiving yards, his first NFL touchdown. Steve, why were you impressed by how he was such a playmaker tonight?
Well, they spread him out, and they knew they were going to throw the football a lot tonight. Mm-hmm. And we've talked a lot about how he's a kind of a glorified slot receiver at the tight end spot. 5 of 7 targets he caught tonight. Got his first touchdown, of course, 65 yards, long of 22, and then this touchdown as well. The guy's ability to catch the ball wherever it's thrown has really been impressive. He's got the best hands perhaps in the National Football League. He's leading in target share efficiency right now in the NFL, and that catch on the sidelines there, you knew you needed somebody to step up tonight with Dawson Knox not in the lineup, and he did exactly what they needed him to do. Pulled the ball in. When you threw it to him, he caught it, and he got into the end zone, made some nice run after catch as well, some yards after catch. So he really played a good game, a game like we expected to, and we've seen him, but we knew some roles were going to get expanded because of the absence of Dawson Knox. Kincaid's was one of them. No
Quentin Morris either tonight, the other tight end, so we knew Dalton Kincaid would have some sort of increased role in today's game plan, and he really did, tonight's game plan, I should say. And last week he had 8 targets, 8 catches, and maybe we're seeing what could be for the rest of the season for Dalton Kincaid. He leads the NFL right now, catching 92 2.6% of his targets heading into this game. I would expect that number would go up after his performance tonight. And on the podium right now, Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir. So let's get it over to two playmakers.
Especially early.
Yeah, I mean, it felt good to get a little more touches. I think Diggs has said it before. You can spin a wheel and stop at any time with the playmakers we have, and anybody's going to make a play. So, with me, it was just making the most of my opportunities and, making sure that I do everything that I can to do my part.
On the first drive, near the sideline, you ran in number 24, broke that tackle, the sideline, sort of surrounded you. What was that feeling like to sort of set the tone?
Good. I mean, I can't remember the last time I decided to duck my head. It felt good, though, to get out there, make a physical play, and, the team bringing the juice as well. That was a great feeling.
It seemed like the game plan had a lot of built-in quick stuff. Get rid of the ball quick, and you were part of that. Was that true? Was that kind of what the game plan dictated?
Yeah, I think you saw we were going a little bit faster today. Just trying to, move the ball downfield and spread the ball around, and like I said, just making sure that we stay on schedule. That was a big thing that we preached this week, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, and moving the ball down the field.
But I think your first catch was a hot, maybe, they early in the game, a long time ago, but, were you expecting them to have to be available as a hot receiver against blitzes?
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that likes to blitz a lot, so we were alert at that as well. So, that just comes down to us communicating, Josh communicating with us receivers, us acknowledging him, making sure that we're all on the same page and getting to the right spot and getting open.
Dalton, your first CBS.
Dalton, can you adjust the microphone, please? Thank you.
CBS got a close-up of you as you went into the fans. Can you take us into that moment, because it's a pretty big smile on your face?
Yeah. To be honest, I was pretty claustrophobic. So that moment, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go back down. But I think that's kind of everyone's dream is, scoring and jumping up there, celebrating, and then just celebrating with the teammates. So super special moment.
What happened on the touchdown? How did you were wide open? What exactly happened there?
That's just Josh Allen making plays. So being in the right place for him. And, I mean, he's a special player, so.
Was it a scramble drill? Yeah, did you extend it farther? Running a little cross and you see him, or what did you think?
I would say it was close to a scramble drill. It just happened to be, where I was supposed to be on the route. But he did, break the pocket and then just make a play.
Pro A's finest.
What's up?
Talk to us about how that play, you were just so wide open. You know what I mean? Just to get that first score, to set up that first score. Just run us through that play. When you came deep across the middle.
Oh, okay. My deepest catch. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I saw green grass and took it. I guess that's all you could say.
You were able just to get free right there. I mean, it seemed like you were just running wide open for 10 minutes before Josh saw you. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe coverage or something that they didn't communicate well enough or whatever it was. I'm not sure. But my job as a receiver, when I see green grass, go take it. So.
Dalton, Josh saw the blitz coming there. They were all from that, from your side. Did you, before the snap there, are you reading that and kind of see, they're coming here on this play?
Yeah, I gave eyes quick, with them blitzing right there, and then they rolled to some type of Tampa. So that's ultimately, why I'm doing that. And then he breaks the pocket and just continued on that way.
You saved that ball?
Josh actually saved it, so pretty cool of him to do that. That's just the guy he is.
Dalton, how did you feel the offense adjusted without Dawson, since he's such a big part of it?
Definitely missed Dawson, but I mean, short week, had to turn around and go make some plays. I think tonight was a lot of fun. A lot of guys making plays and just playing with a lot of energy.
And Dalton, what did you think about? Obviously you kind of you knew that you were going to try to run a lot of up-tempo, no huddle. What do you think that did for the offense?
I didn't think Tampa Bay was expecting it necessarily. I felt like at first, we had more energy and, we're more conditioned with the short week. So I think we were kind of just putting the foot on the gas and, they weren't ready for it.
Yards after the catch is an area where this team has ranked low, and
previous years. You guys are up in the top third of the league now in that category. You were responsible for some of that tonight. Is it just a byproduct of Josh getting the ball to you quick, or do you think there's something to your game that lends itself to the catch?
That's something that Dorsey preaches, every week, every day, if anything, run after catch. Once you get that ball in your hands, get upfield and make a play, extend the play as much as you can. Making guys miss. He always says make the first guy miss. So that's just Dorsey, telling us every single day so we work on that in practice as well. When we're in practice going through our plays and everything, you catch a ball, it's, burst for, 10, 15 yards, and then everybody else is following you to the ball as well. That's just something that we've been working.
Was that part of the message from Ken? I mean, given where this offense has been and some of the struggles, Josh talked about kind of a different vibe, trying to set a different tone this week. What was kind of the mindset coming in? And you talked about the up-tempo maybe that Tampa might not expect it, but I think that probably had something to do with you guys, too, to get things started. What all went into that?
Shoot, I think we just came into this game with a different mindset. We've been obviously ups and downs. McDermott always tells us don't ride the roller coaster. We got to stay consistent as a team, stay on the gas pedal like Dalton was saying, and just making sure that every time we step on that field, we make sure that we're communicating and everybody's on the same page so that we can put our best foot forward. So I think it was just, like I said, things weren't going as well. The roller coaster that we've been going through, and it's just coming into this Thursday night, primetime game. I think our mentality was just a bit different.
How well was it for you guys to feed off each other? Getting while the ball's being spread around. How well were you guys able to feed off each other today?
I saw this guy run some dude over on the sideline, and I'm running over there. That gets me excited. That makes me want to play harder and play faster, play longer. So just seeing guys, give it their all, and just a lot of guys making plays. It's contagious, and it's just a lot of fun to, be out there. Tonight was a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys.
So good to see those two guys have a great game. We know what they're capable of. It was awesome to see the rookie get his first touchdown, and awesome to see Khalil Shakir leading the way with 6 receptions for 92 receiving yards. Amazing to see him get some of those yards after catch, too, because that's what Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, preaches. This week's game against the Buccaneers is presented by Wegmans. Download the Meals to Go app from Wegmans and get delicious meals delivered. All right, it's now time for our Insider's Take with Chris Brown. Chris, take it away.
The Bills' offense had a noticeably different feel to it here on a short week on Thursday night. They spread the field and went no-huddle tempo for much of the game. They also got major contributions from Khalil Shakir and Gabe Davis, who had 6 and 9 receptions respectively, both of which were career single-game highs. Dalton Kincaid chipped in with 5 catches for 65 yards and his first touchdown as a Bill, and Stephon Diggs still got his, 9 catches for 70 yards, while Josh Allen accounted for 365 yards of total offense. At Highmark Stadium, I'm Chris Brown for Bills Postgame Live.
All right, thank you, Chris Brown. And also, Josh Allen got some rushing yards. He had 7 attempts for 41 yards on the ground, averaged 5.9 yards per carry, had a rushing touchdown as well. It was good to see him get involved in that, because I think that's one of the reasons why Josh Allen is Josh Allen. What makes him so great is his ability to extend a play, his ability to get outside of the pocket, and his ability to use his legs. And we saw that on the first drive. He had a designed run. And we've heard him say before, I kind of like to get into the game by maybe taking a hit. That helps me get into things. And I believe on that first drive, him taking it for himself, and just the tempo that the offense had to start the game really got Josh and his guys into it.
Yeah, in fact, there was actually the called run where he dropped back, took one step back, and took off running. It was obviously a called quarterback run. We haven't seen that at all. It's nice to get that on film, so other teams are going on now. They're going to start doing that, and they're going to have to prepare for that kind of thing, and they're going to have to make adjustments in their coverage for having one less guy out there who's going to have to watch Josh. Great performance all around by Josh. He was efficient with the ball, 77% completion rate. The touchdown. The interception he threw was a batted ball up into the air. It was a It was a gotcha play by the defense. It would have been nice if he could have gotten rid of it and thrown it, but having it batted doesn't automatically mean it's going to be an interception either. So really a good night for him all around. And I think there's no question he looked really comfortable out of shotgun. Everybody split wide. Got a great way, a good look at the defense and what their plan was. Sometimes they got caught, and he actually took the one sack he took tonight because they set the protection the wrong way and had a free rusher right off the guard. That's on Josh as well. So didn't happen very often. They made hay while the sun shined, and you'd like to see him stay aggressive later in the game. They ended the game with 4 straight punts.
Yeah.
Not a great way to end the night, although when you're up 14 points in the second half of the fourth quarter, it's hard to keep your foot on the gas when the clock is the one thing you're trying to squeeze out.
Yeah, and I know the Bucs had that 17-play drive going at the end of the game. Took 7 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock, so it was hard for the Bills to get the ball back and try to put something together to end the game. Let's hear from our quarterback, Josh Allen, who's on the podium right now.
You guys definitely went more off-tempo tonight. Did you feel like that got you going pretty good at the start there?
Yeah, I think it helped. Just giving our guys stuff they're familiar with, being able to recognize what they were doing, and obviously on a short week to have that in our arsenal, it's pretty helpful for us.
Josh, how was it for you just to establish a rhythm by getting everybody involved? I mean, you got Gabe getting 9 catches, Diggs 9 catches, Kincaid 5 catches, Shakir 6 catches. How, just tell us about the rhythm you was able to establish.
Yeah, it was nice. When, like I said, this team moves really well when I'm able to get the ball around to our playmakers, and I thought guys did a great job of the ball in their hand, making some rack. Gabe on one of those third downs, puts his foot in the ground, goes and gets it. Diggy at the end on that second to last third down, we got to convert on that last third down, but the second to last third down, recognizing what's going on, give me a good body language to throw to. But our guys knew what they were doing. They were playing fast. Obviously, when you go up tempo, it's kind of like, if you make a mistake, at least you're going full speed, and sometimes I find you that way too. So just trying to get guys open.
Career highs in receptions and yards for Khalil tonight. What did you see from him that allowed you to gain a rapport so quickly?
Really good body language. That's a guy that I have a lot of trust in, and obviously hasn't been too involved with our offense in the last few weeks. But to get him going, again, helps take the attention off of 14, and once you get the attention off 14, that's when you can throw to him. So getting the guys involved, it's a great feeling.
Josh, we saw you go to the tent there in the first half. Was that in regards to your shoulder, and if so, how are you doing?
Took a little fall on it, and just felt a little funky about it, but just trying to keep it warm and keep it loose. I'll be sore for a couple days, but we'll be fine.
Josh, was it a point of emphasis?
It looked like you guys had him running some shorter routes. Like usually we're used to seeing him down the field.
Who's this?
Gabe.
Oh.
And it looked like you got him on a slant one time. It looked like you got him more involved because the routes were shorter for him, higher percentage throws. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, that helps out when it's hard to always throw it downfield to a certain guy, and I think that's hard for him as well. So to develop some of this underneath stuff and allow him to put the ball in his hands and make some plays, I think in turn will open up some of the other stuff. But again, I thought Dorsey did a great job of giving us stuff that we were familiar with, getting to it early and often. Now we got to be better on that 4th and 2 down in the red zone. There's some times where we're 3rd and short, and we got to go pick up this first down. So lot to learn from, but I thought our guys came out and were ready to play. And again, you hate to have those last-second Hail Marys from the opposing side. It's just kind of hold your breath and wait, and hate putting our defense in that situation. So we got to figure out a way to go finish the game on our terms.
Well, Josh, going good, but the last 4 drives ended in punts. What kind of wasn't happening in the second half there?
I think the situation of the game kind of dictated some of the stuff that we were doing, and that's completely fine. Our defense was playing really well, and we didn't want to take any crazy chances. So, yeah.
Josh, we talked about the up-tempo and the familiarity with the play selection tonight. You had talked about trying to set maybe a different tone, given where this offense has been and where you needed to get to tonight. Did you succeed in that? Take me inside that a little bit relative to whatever else was going on.
Personally, I feel like I did, but we'll let you guys write about that if you think I did or not.
Can you take us into that moment with Dalton after you threw that touchdown pass to him? It seemed like you made a beeline to celebrate and grab the ball.
Yeah, we call them SFRs, right? Stupid rookies. So you never know what they're going to do on their first touchdown. So I stole it from him and made sure I got it to our equipment manager and Scobie, and Scobie's going to put it in a nice spot and laminate and put something pretty on it for his first touchdown, and he'll be able to keep that one.
SFR, you missed.
Go on.
Josh, what do you recall being an SFR? Differently tonight to get the offense? What you said, there were things you think you did. You're leaving it up to us. But what do you think you did?
Spread the ball around. And, I felt like just mentality-wise, we were in a good spot.
What about running the ball for you, and how much did that factor into any personality you took on, not you personally or as an entire offense early in the game?
Yeah, dialed one up, I think, on the second play. And, it's always good to get those runs where you're not taking many hits. I slid, so that's a plus. But, again, just getting everybody involved, and I think that's another thing that defenses have to worry about, and if they don't, we're going to have to be able to utilize that going forward. And, again, I don't think it's something that you can major in and live in continuously, but if the opportunities are there, we got to take advantage of them.
With the up-tempo approach you guys came out with today, at what point in time in the game did you recognize what Tampa Bay was trying to do to you?
I think pretty early. I think our offensive line played extremely well tonight. I think that they made their calls, and we picked up a lot of the pressures that they were doing, and so credit to our coaching staff for putting together a good game plan. But ultimately, the guys out there executed, and I think we did a good job with that tonight. So kudos to them, and we need to give them their flowers too. I think they played really, really well tonight. It was fun.
Yeah, you come off a tough loss, a short week. How did you see the team respond and turn the ship around here?
Again, we're just trying to go 1-0 each week. It's no difference, and about halfway through the season, everything that we want is still in front of us. So, again, you wish you were 8-0 at this point. You wish you were 7-1. You wish you were 6-2, and that's the reality of it. Is we're 5-3, but we're going to continue to take it one game at a time. And we got Sunday night next week against a really good Bengals team, so we got to be ready for them.
Can you take us through your touchdown run? What the play was? That the whole thing parted it for you there?
I honestly don't.
You ran up the middle.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it just kind of opened up for me. And it was right after I landed on the shoulder, so it wasn't feeling great. So I was like, I don't want to take a hit. So I just try to not get hit.
Were you supposed to run on that play?
No. Okay. It was a pass play, but again, it just kind of opened up, and I trusted my feet and my legs and made a play.
How did you see Dalton respond this week? Obviously a big spot for a rookie. You mentioned it. With Dawson out, how did you see him respond this week?
Yeah, I think, as much as a stupid rookie that he is, he feels like, and a lot of guys will say this, he feels like he's been in this league for a long time. He's a professional. He takes it very serious, and it's a business to him. So just his approach has been fantastic. Obviously, the trust that I have in him is going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to talk about things that I see, and whether it's body language or where I see a route going. So I thought he stepped up to the challenge, and we're going to have to get him more involved in this offense as the season goes by.
How much did Tampa Bay's defense playing Diggs got you to the point where getting the ball over to other guys?
I think it was a little bit of what they were doing, but that wasn't really what was dictating us going to other guys. I thought other guys were getting open and making plays for us, and had a lot of faith in them. And make no mistake about it, we're going to continue to get 14 the ball, but it's nice to spread it around and get everybody involved.
What goes through your mind when the training staff says it's time to go into the blue tent?
You never like to be in those situations. It's always scary. At the end of the day, it's football. It's not if, it's when. But again, just trying to put all that aside and be the guy that I need to be for this team.
Two more. When you took that hit, Josh, did you feel like it might have been worse than what it ended up being?
Potentially. Anytime you feel something in your throwing shoulder as a quarterback, alarms are going off in your head of, crap. But But something that, again, we'll have to monitor and continue going forward with and making sure we're taking care of it.
Different side of the ball, but what was it like having Josh Norman back in the locker room?
He made some plays tonight on special teams. He had a big thump there on one of the kickoffs. So he's a character. We love having him in the locker room. He brings a lot of juice and a lot of energy. So thought he played well tonight. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's QB1 Josh Allen, and it was good to see Josh and what he did when he was getting the ball out. We're glad he's healthy and safe, and he's going to be all right going into the blue tent, but coming out and being able to be okay. But I want to talk about how quickly he got the ball out tonight. So it was his quickest time to throw in his career. He averaged getting the ball out in 2.27 seconds, according to Next Gen Stats. He also faced a career low pressure rate, 13%, because he was getting the ball out so quickly. Going into this game, his last 3 games, he was averaging a 3.15 seconds time to throw. That was the second longest in the NFL, his longest of his career of getting the ball out. And because of that, his completion percentage was down, 51.5% completion percentage when he was getting the ball out with over 3 seconds on the clock. And tonight he does it a lot quicker, and he gets 77.5% completion percentage. He gave kudos for the offensive line and the job that they did tonight. And there were times where he did take his time in the pocket to throw and maybe didn't get it out in under 2.5 seconds. But he had some big completions when he had that time in the pocket. Why is Josh Allen so good when he's getting the ball out quickly and when the offensive line is really doing their job as well?
Well, when the offensive line plays like they did tonight, they played really well tonight. He was right. There was a couple of times when he did wait, and he could stand there and just wait. There was no pressure on him. Also, because of the Knox injury and the fact that they went spread offense so much, some of the problems they had in the last couple of weeks were that there were a lot of times when they went max protect, kept some extra guys in to block, but they only had a 2-man route.
Right.
So those 2-man routes, somebody's got to get open, and you got to wait for those to develop. And it took a long time to get it out. Plus, there's only 2 guys to choose from in the route. When they spread it out, there's 5 guys to choose from. There's more choices, harder to cover up as a defense, and the defense doesn't know. You'd think, and it's true, you've always got an option quick as a quarterback. But when there's 5 guys out there, the defense doesn't know which one of those 5 guys it's going to be that he's going to go and release the ball quick to. He's got the arm strength. Even the widest guy on the wide side of the field could be the outlet because he can get the ball there that quick before they can break on the ball, even though it travels a long way in the air. So it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense when you've got so many choices and he wants to come out quick. If you're going to pressure him, he's going to have an answer and he can get the ball out quick because there are choices. For the last couple of weeks, they've been running a lot of routes without 5 guys out.
12 personnel.
With 12 personnel.
A lot, yeah.
Or guys would release late into the route and he would have to wait and wait and wait for that thing to develop. Makes a difference when you've got a quarterback with a strong arm. He sees the defense. The offensive line's playing extremely well. Unless they send a ton of guys, they've got a lot to cover up in the back end. And Josh made him pay tonight. So I think the fact that they had more choices in the passing game available on every snap because of the spread formations made it easy to get the ball out quick.
Yeah, and Khalil Shakir ends up being the leading receiver with 92 receiving yards. Then Gabe Davis had 87 receiving yards. Amazing to see him involved and how he was targeted and just the game that he had being a difference maker out there. And then Stephon Diggs still got his. He didn't have 100 receiving yards, but he did pick up 70. He was still targeted 12 times and had 9 catches off of those 12 targets, which was great to see. And then in the rushing game end of things, James Cook has 67 rushing yards and averages 4.8 yards per carry, which is a pretty good number to see off of 14 rushing attempts. He's had a great season so far, and he's top 10 for rushing yards over expected and receiving yards over expected. And when you see this team, and they were running 11 personnel quite a bit tonight. They did get into 12 a couple of times, I believe. But when they were running 11 personnel, you have your options out there to throw the ball, but then James Cook was able to be a difference maker, and he did get some nice yak yards tonight and did push the pile a couple times. I really liked what I saw from him. him and just how he was a force out there.
One of the things he's doing well this year is that he hasn't done, or in his first year last year, was that when he goes up inside the tackle, he turns a 1-yard gain into a 3-yard or 4-yard gain, or 2-yard gain into a 4.5-yard gain. He goes and finds a soft spot and gets positive yards on a play that doesn't look like there's all that much there. Plus, because of his speed, we saw him explode into the secondary a couple of times, and they were struggling to get him down. So he had some really nice runs. He seems to be consistent this year, and the opportunity that he's been given, he's making the most of, which last year I think he struggled to get off the ground a little bit early in the season.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think he has a better understanding of this offense. He's more confident in it. And speaking of confidence, this team came out with a lot of energy, a lot of confidence. It helps when your defense goes out there on the opposing team's first possession and does a good job of giving the ball right back to the offense so that they can go out on the field and do their thing. And I know the first drive by the offense didn't end in 6 points, 7 points, but it did end in a field goal. And both sides of the ball, including special teams, kind of went back and forth, and it was amazing to see 3 phases work together through a lot of that first half. You saw a blocked field goal in the game as well. Sam Martin did a great job when he was punting the football, was able to down it within the 5 a couple times, almost 3 times they were able to do so. And so when you're playing complementary football, this team is really at its best. We didn't see it consistently throughout the entire game because toward the end of the game it started to lag a little bit, but just in the first half, and we haven't seen that out of this team in the last 3 games heading into this one in the first half. The first half they had a tough time getting going. Even if the defense was playing well, the offense couldn't really match what the defense was doing, or if the offense was playing well, the defense couldn't match it. And you really saw the 3 phases of the game marry up well together tonight.
Yeah, and Deontay Hardy had a great night returning punts, and they negated 60 yards of his return with penalties. You're right, and the punting, getting the ball down inside the 5-yard line was huge. The Bills were victims of it at one time, but their first scoring drive started on their own too because the Tampa Bay had pinned them down. Then they reciprocated it almost 3 times, like you said. So the blocked field goal was absolutely huge. It turned out to be a difference maker in the game. Tyler Bass seems to be back on point after struggling with the team the last few weeks. So. The special teams, the blocked field goal, excellent job in downing punts. The return game was on point. It really seems like all 3 phases played complementary football tonight, and they needed it. The Tampa Bay was a desperate team at the end. They put together that long drive, and it got extended. And then even the touchdown pass, it ricocheted off a helmet. It gave them the touchdown. Those kind of things happen when you're playing hard and letting it loose, and Tampa Bay was the beneficiary of that on a couple of things. The Jordan Phillips face mask penalty would have ended the game if he hadn't done that. He had the guy going down. It just, those things happen, and it's one of the things you have to stay away from. But, so they had some game enders that weren't game enders. And it came down to a Hail Mary that landed on the ground harmlessly.
I want to ask you about a new look that we've kind of been seeing on defense in the last couple of games. In the last 2 games, this team heading into tonight's game, they ran 21 plays where they had dime personnel in there, dime package in there. In the first 5 games to start the season, they ran no dime at all. But with Matt Milano's injury, you may have to mix it up a little bit. And we saw this team again run a little bit of dime tonight. I don't want to say a lot, but they did run a good amount of plays with dime in there, which means Taylor Rapp, Jordan Poyer, and Micah Hyde. You have your 3 safeties in there. What did you see from those looks, and what did you like about them being in dime?
Yeah, they're going to have to start. They're going to have to do some different personnel packages. I think they feel the need to because of the injuries they have sustained. Plus, the cornerback situation is still not settled with Tre'Davious White being out. Josh Norman was activated tonight. Dane Jackson is there, and Christian Benford. They're kind of looking for that 4th corner, and I don't think they're satisfied with what they've got. So I think because of that, going dime puts an extra guy out there. Taylor Rapp was out there tonight quite a bit and took some snaps. I think they're still trying to find their best 11 people on the field, and also the best 11 field in every situation. I don't think they want. I think they're the same as they have been. I don't think they would like to keep switching people out,
Right.
except for those front four where they keep them fresh. I think the 7 guys in the back end, they'd like to stick with 7 guys, but I don't think they're happy exactly with everybody who's played. They're up and down. They're a little too inconsistent. They want to keep tinkering with that until they find the 7 guys they want to leave out
And
there.
it makes sense that there's going to be an adjustment period to figure out, all right, who do you want in this game without guys like Matt Milano and Daquan Jones and Tre'Davious White? You got to figure that out, and that's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one game. So this is why we could be seeing some of these mixing and matchings of packages that they're running. Maybe we'll see a little bit more dime packages heading forward and heading into the next few games. All right, Sean McDermott is on the podium right now, so we'll get right over to him.
Okay, good to get another win here, at home in particular. Crowd was outstanding again, and what a beautiful night in Western New York. Great to see us spread the ball around. I thought the effort and the production from Gabe and Khalil was important for us. All receivers, tight ends included, were involved. I think Dalton had, 8 targets, 5 catches. Good to see him get going there as well. I thought Coach Dorsey called a good game, and then the special teams. Sam Martin had a heck of a game. Pinning them down deep into their own end zone, and that helped us from a complimentary football standpoint. We wish we could have gotten some more points out of it in the fourth quarter in particular, where we had them backed up a couple times. They were punting, but we had some penalties show up. I think it was back of the third, early fourth there, which cost us some valuable yards and a chance to close them out. But the defense did a good job, for the most part, most of the game, and rushing coverage, working together. Wish we could have gotten them a little bit more from a sack production standpoint, but there's always something to work on there. So with that, I'll turn it over to you with your questions.
I would ask you more about the offensive approach. I know your level of involvement was increased, but to see him go up tempo, and Josh talked about that Ken gave him a lot of stuff they were very familiar with to help kind of streamline that process.
Right. Again, just increased levels of communication, but really it was them. It was Coach Dorsey, the offensive staff, and Josh and the players on offense. I mean, they got into a good rhythm. I mean, that was what I'm used to seeing, really, and it was fun to watch. And Josh looked very comfortable. The offense looked very comfortable, and probably the first time, other than maybe in episodes of the Raiders game and then again in Miami, where it just looked like it was every play wasn't an adventure. Every play wasn't just there looked like there were some easy plays, I guess I should say. So that was good.
Part of that seemed like Josh willingness, it seemed, to run the ball. Was that an emphasis at all this week?
A little bit. I would say you're talking about running in designed runs or scrambles?
Just scrambles.
Both. Yeah, I would say both. I liked how we got him going early there with the quarterback draw, I think it was, in the first quarter, first drive. I was very pleased.
Jake said 9 catches, 70 yards. That's kind of what he does. But to get those other guys involved, how much does that change your whole offense when it's not just a play or two, but they're all making a ton of plays for you guys?
I mean, I think when you're playing good team offense, the ball is spread around, not intentionally, but the ball finds the open receiver, right, or the open tight end, and that's when we're at our best. We're not forcing things. We're not predetermining where the ball's going. We're going where the defense tells us the ball should go, and I thought that showed up rather consistently through the night, and I thought a great 4-minute execution when we got that critical third down the stretch there, which took more time off the clock. So again, much to work on. We got to get better at closing a team out. We had opportunities to close them out, and we left them hang around due to some, field position type situations and penalties, like I said, and then fourth downs in the defense. I thought we had them a couple times in there, and apparently not. So, but a lot to learn from.
Sean, what went into the decision to have Josh Norman up tonight and Kyrie Elam be a healthy scratch?
Yeah, it's we want the players in this point. We feel like every decision we make is who can help us win, and that's we wanted to see what Josh could do there.
John, Mitch talked about the decision to go up-tempo offensively as maybe a method to build energy. How much was energy in having that top to bottom of this team a focus tonight?
Well, I could feel the team, and I'm hoping you guys could too. They came out with an attitude, and it started in the locker room, really. Stephon Diggs, his little motivational couple of words he said to the team before we went out there. That's what a leader does. He did a phenomenal job of basically setting the tone with his message before the game.
Would you love to relay that message to us?
No, I don't think you guys want to hear
Is that typical for Stephon to say something before a game, Sean?
Yeah, you know what? Last year, a lot of last year it was, and then I've just tried to use some of the veterans, and then Steph asked for it this game, and that's what a leader does. He steps up when he knows the team needs him to step up and speak up, and I applaud him for that. That's great leadership right there.
Coach, I know one of the reasons you guys drafted Dalton was because of how sure-handed he was. He came into this game with one of the highest catch rates in the league, and tonight he goes 5 for 5 again. Is there something about his sure-handedness that maybe even exceeds expectations sometimes?
I don't know. That's a pretty deep question there, Chris. I don't know. Talk to his mom and dad. I think maybe it's a gift from them, and I think both of them were athletes, right? So, he's got that background, just good hands, and you love that. If you're going to play receiver, you better be able to catch the football. There's a lot of receivers out there that are extremely fast but can't catch the football, so they're not really receivers at that point.
It seemed like his catch along the sideline fired up a lot of the guys on your sideline. So did you notice that?
Yeah, and again, for a rookie to have the field awareness and the presence to catch the ball first, control his body, get his feet down, let his feet go dead right on the sideline. That was fun to watch.
Josh, I think it was a bit scary going into the medical tent. You never know as a quarterback what you're going through in that situation. How did you see him kind of respond to that coming out, going back to the game?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'd heard that they were taking him in there, and then he was out. And, honestly, at that point, it's like, hey, okay, Kyle's in, and let's continue to roll. So I know Kyle was ready and chomping at the bit to get out there. So it was a good job by him. And then Josh came back, right. The next time I heard of it was Josh was going back out there, and I think it was when the play we got, the series change, I think, where we got the ball back there, and it wasn't even before then that I said they told me that Josh was okay. It was just right then. It was like, hey, Josh is going back out.
Just to follow that, tomorrow may be a better time to ask you this question, Sean, but are you more or less concerned or the same about his shoulder at this point, given the fact he had
going into the game, you mean, comparing it to
maybe coming out of it? It took another shot.
Yeah, no, I'm always concerned about anyone's injury, in particular Josh's. He's so tough, so competitive. It didn't surprise me when they said, hey, he's going back in. But from a protective standpoint, you're going to have to take his helmet from him, to keep him from going back out there. So he's a warrior.
What went into the decision to get Khalil more involved, and not even just from a catch and yard perspective?
Yeah, I just think overall, again, offensively, Joe, is just the ball found the open players, right? And where the defense took away certain receivers and tight ends and backs, the ball found, Josh was making good, sound decisions he was playing the position, right? And I think that's important. When he's at his best, he plays the position. He was hitting his checkdowns. He slid. I think that was the third quarter. And even just doing that, that's playing the position. And he is elite when he does that.
Protection seemed better tonight, Sean. Just your thoughts on the offensive line.
Yeah, again, some of that comes from, I thought that they did a good job, number one. Number two is I think some of that comes from the no huddle, where we're keeping their defensive line on the field. They're getting tired, and then we are. They're a little bit easier to block when they're worn down a little bit too. So, but overall, Coach Coleman, the offensive line, I thought did a good job.
Back weeks that Dalton Kincaid makes big contributions in the passing game. What do you need from him going forward now that Dawson Knox is on IR?
To be him, really continue to grow like all the players, in particular the young players, grow every week, get a little bit better, and find things to work on. This is a rookie in his, I think for him, his 7th game, right? So he missed that one game, and he just, he's done a good job. And I think, when you watch the rapport of a good tight end and a quarterback, it only grows over the years, and the more they play together, the better it should get.
Sean, just overall, how much of I don't know if relief is the right word, but how nice is it to see the offense looking like you're used to seeing it play, especially now going into this kind of mini bye that you're sort of on right now?
Yeah. Again, I applaud the staff and the players. They put their heads together, and it's one thing to come up with a plan. It's another thing to come out and execute the plan. And again, this doesn't mean that all of a sudden, okay, we've arrived. It's like, hey, what's the next step? And I loved, in addition to throwing the football around, short, intermediate, a couple deep maybe, that we integrated some of the run game as well. So I think that's, again, when you're able to stay somewhat two-dimensional within that, it presents challenges.
You mentioned Josh sliding. Mitch Morse laughed and said we should frame it and put it up there. Is that something you still have to say to him?
I'm done saying that. I'm done saying it. He knows. So he knows. So if he's going to run, he needs to slide. He knows that. So that conversation's been had over and over and over again. So short of hitting him over the head with a baseball bat and knocking him out, it's his job to slide. So
I guess that would defeat the purpose of the slide.
John, you had mentioned in the opening statement you thought the defense was good for the most part, and you mentioned sack production as one area, but just kind of how did you evaluate the defense as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the plays, I thought the effort was outstanding. I thought the coverage was really good, aside from the one onto Mike Evans, the touchdown on the Mike, and he beat us, and we had inside leverage, and he beat us inside, and I'm not sure, was it CB? I don't know. Anyway, we'll learn from that. But I thought the coverage was helping the rush, and we were able to pressure a few times and get him on the ground or cause a tip pass. So I was liking that as well. Just and that play, the drive that they scored on, I think it was multiple 4th downs, and some of those were calls by the officials, and they saw what they saw, and so we have to extend the drive. I think it was a 22-play drive. So, but I love how they closed it out at the end. I think that's also it's easier said than done. No matter was it 24, 20, 21 seconds left, no timeouts, but you got Mike Evans out there who's taller than any DB we have, and you're always aware that thing could go down the field at any point in time, and he wins a jump ball, and then you're in trouble. So, we were harassing the quarterback. I thought we could have had more sack production to close the game out. I think that's the thing I'm looking for.
Hey, Sean, what did Khalil show you in the weeks leading up to this one to be able to give him a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's been so consistent. He's a consistent person. He's so steady. He's mature beyond his years. This is only his 2nd season, right? So, is that right? 2nd season? Khalil. He's, when you talk about a person that you can trust, he's a good football player. He may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest, or look flashy or any of that type of stuff, but he's a darn good football player.
What went into the decision to elevate Andy Isabella?
Well, I think part of it is, we don't have any more tight ends. Respectfully, we've got Joel on the practice squad, and he does a good job. But we're just looking to put our best 11 on the field at times, and that factored into it.
There was a moment late in the first quarter, right before the turnover on downs, after a run from Latavius Murray, James Cook on the sideline, a little bit animated. I don't know if you took note of that. I don't know if you were near that. Could you take us into that interaction, if so?
Yeah, he wants to play. So I love the fact that it's important to him.
Sean, with Dalton scoring his first career touchdown tonight, obviously you all hope there's more to come with that, but just where have you seen him progress? You talk about continuing to grow. What have you seen from him so far this rookie season?
Yeah, he's similar to Khalil. He's a very steady person, very steady personality. But within that, he's one of those players that is in early most every day. So it's like his steady personality is not just like lukewarm and he's just, kind of middling. He's hungry to be the best that he can be, and you see that even though his personality is more like this. But I think that serves him well with the position that he plays and how important it is to be steady for the quarterback. And also when you're young, I mean, this is a grind for these guys. They're not used to the long hours and the length of the season either. So just very impressed by Dalton so far.
Sean, it seemed like that you had this team ready to go, all three phases. I mean, everybody played well tonight. Is there something you point to this week that got this team so ready for tonight?
Well, I think the staff and the players themselves did a great job. They did. But at the same time, I told you guys before, this is what we do, right? This is what we do. And as a coach, you're paid to be a problem solver, and that's part of it. So, but really proud of what the staff did and on a short week. I mean, going from London to Sunday night game to away game to a short week. I mean, it's been a grind. So it'll be good to get a couple days. The guys get a couple days and just kind of get a little bit of rest here. So.
You mentioned special teams. How about the impact of Shaq getting his hand on that ball?
Huge. Yeah. Shaq is. He's a big part of our team, man. The edge that he brings to us defensively, special teams. And he made it very clear who blocked it, right? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of humble and hungry was not part of that celebration. So, all right, thank you guys.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Humble and hungry was not a part of that celebration when Shaq Lawson blocked the field goal. We all know how Shaq is. He's a loud guy, he's a fun guy, and when he makes a play, he's going to let you know he made that play. But that's what this team needs. It
was a huge play in the game. It's hard to do. You rarely see it in the league these days, and it was going to be a tying field goal that didn't happen. And it was obvious from the minute. You knew it. He didn't hit it that bad. It flew quite a ways, but it was knuckling, and sure enough, the replay showed us. You couldn't hear it or see it, but he got a hand on it. And
Before we saw the replay, it was like
know.
Shaq is celebrating on the sideline. Did Shaq get a hand on it? And then we saw the replay. It was like, oh, okay, Shaq did get a hand on it.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. And it was a big play, and it was part of the resurgence of the special teams tonight. The down punts inside the 5, the return game, a lot of which got called back with holding penalties, and that blocked field goal, they were huge, and Tyler Bass was perfect.
Yeah. It was great to see all three phases contribute at some point in this game. They're going to need it going forward. We know that because there's some big games coming up for this team for sure. Ticketmaster is the presenting sponsor of the Buffalo Bills 2023 season. Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the NFL. And Steve, this team is going to get a nice little break here, a mini bye, if you want to call it that. Their bye week still hasn't come yet. That's going to come in a few weeks, but they'll have the weekend to rest up, to recoup. Josh Allen can get a little bit healthier. We know he went into the medical tent tonight, but looks to be okay. There's several players. At this point in the season, I mean, you're heading into week 9. Nobody is feeling 100% healthy. So when you can get a few extra days, it's big for this team. And coming up next is a big Sunday night football game against the Cincinnati Bengals, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last season. So what do they need to do on this long week that they're going to have?
They need to take about 48 hours and just get away. And it feels when you
relax.
do that, when you get away for 48 hours during a season like an NFL season, it feels like a week. You really come back refreshed. Guys will come in, they'll get treatment. They may work out. Even guys who are completely healthy and feeling it, they'll probably work out a little bit, stay loose. But they'll really take some time to recharge mentally as well as physically. The couple extra days go a long way towards getting guys feeling just that much better when they kick it off in Cincinnati.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we hope you guys enjoy the long weekend as well. Rest up and get ready for a big Sunday night football game against the Cincinnati Bengals coming up next week. But to close us out tonight, we want to show you guys the post-game speech by Sean McDermott. So, Sean, send us out tonight.
Hell of a win at home again, right? Undefeated at home. Is that right? Undefeated at home. Defending our dirt right here. I'll tell you what I noticed more than anything is a damn attitude, right? Damn attitude of this football team. Backs against the wall. You coming out firing, man. That's what we got to do every week. Every week.
Hey, we should want more, right? Now we need more. There's a lot left out there that we could take advantage of, huh? Refresh, be ready to go. Know where we're at in the season.
Yes, sir.
5-3, we're going to take it one game at a time, all right? Next Sunday night, that's our main goal. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.